This is Jammin with Kron and Rex.
And don't forget to subscribe so you get the videos as they come out.
Coach Cam made this shit.
Welcome to Fighting with Kron and Rex. And today we have a very special edition. A very special, I guess we'll call it a clip that we're dropping.
Yeah.
Considering the monumental card event that happened last night, which was UFC 261.
Yeah.
You know, we have the benefit of being able to film on Sunday to be able to give our recap over all the craziness that fucking happened last night.
Yeah.
To start this off, thank you, because Brendan's a fucking idiot, and I got my $2 back, actually. So, if you follow us on Twitter, you saw that we, me and Brendan had a pretty big disagreement on how the fight was going to go for the last two events of the main card. And when we say main card, we mean the 3 championship fights.
Yes.
And so I thought every champion was going to keep their belt. I was very, very actively rooting for Rose Namajunas to win.
Yes.
But I just didn't think she would be able to get over Zhang Weili's power.
Yeah.
We'll get into more of that later. But if you watched it, by the time we drop it, you should have. If not, you're missing out. I don't know why you're watching this video.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy I was wrong about that. I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. You was right about that. You predicted Rose was going to win.
Yes.
But you was wrong about Jorge, and so we both thought Valentina Shevchenko was going to win. We was right about that.
Yeah.
And then we differed on the last two. But I am perfectly happy with how everything went.
Yep.
I doubted Rose. I'm sorry, baby. I am so sorry. I'm sorry to my little sister, Rose. But, yeah, so crazy night, and I think a good way to start talking about it is the fucking menace himself, the marketing goat.
Yeah.
Jake Paul, he made an appearance as a supervillain do.
Yeah, so real quick disclaimer, if you're looking for the normal episode, this won't be it. We still will be uploading the normal episode at Wednesday at noon. This is just, rather than just having practically a full episode of nothing but this, we decided that on these giant, on these monumental cards that we're going to have just a short little episode. We don't know. Yeah, don't know if we'll do this
too often, because I mean, this was definitely a special one.
Yeah,
because you're not talking about a card where Francis knocks out Stipe, and that's pretty much the thing that happens. This was
the first time ever
fight.
that 3 championships were on the same card.
Yeah, it's reopening in front of us, in front of a live audience again.
Yeah,
the prelims were crazy.
Yep.
So this is a very special card,
and it did not disappoint.
Yeah,
So.
even from Cormier walking up, confronting Jake Paul.
Yeah,
we don't want to spend too much on that because that doesn't even get anywhere close to the peak of it.
Yeah.
But shout out Jake Paul for being a marketing fucking goat. And going straight to the belly of the beast, surrounded by people that fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Yelling, fuck Jake Paul. Good for marketing. Can't wait for his next fight.
It won't be Cormier.
No, it's not going to be Cormier. Cormier's already made that clear.
Yeah.
Cormier, he's out of their league.
Yeah. And
he doesn't need to be a part of it. He's too good for it. But I do appreciate him confronting him.
Yeah.
Because, man to man, that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
I don't, marketing aside, shit talking aside, at the end of the day, they're both men. You're not going to fucking talk to me like that, and we're not going to be in the same building. I'm not going to say something to you.
Exactly, and I really, as much as I already respected him, I just respect him so much more.
Cormier?
Yes.
Okay.
Not Jake Paul. Jake Paul's response wasn't awful.
Yeah.
Knowing the context makes it a little worse.
Well, and Jake Paul does have respect for Cormier's career.
Yeah.
He was on, obviously, his brother's podcast in was it Impulsive?
Something
like that, something punny. But yeah, he said, because Logan was kind of reeling him back and being like, well, dude, it's Daniel Cormier we're talking about. And he was like, no. He's like, I get his career. I respect it. Hall of Famer. But he was like, if he's going to talk shit to me, then, I get it. It's not any of my concern. I get it. It's a disagreement between two men. Yeah. Jake Paul obviously being disrespectful, but, it is what it is. In that business, you're going to butt heads. It's kind of what you do for a living.
But we don't want to spend too much time on this. We want to get into the card. And the only other thing I have to say is quick goddamn clinking the cup. So, first fight of the night. Of the main card.
The main card. We're focusing on the main card.
Yeah, we're only going to cover the main card.
Because even the prelims were fucking bangers.
Yeah.
The explosion onto the scene for the Chinese market, for, all the fans out in China. They probably got some good viewing. I'm doing it again, ain't I?
Yes.
And so starting off the main card, it was rough. You had Anthony Smith and Jimmy Croot.
Yes.
And
the fight looks good. It looks like Anthony Smith is much more experienced, which he is.
Well, he is, yeah.
Yeah, and but it shows.
32, 33, something like that.
Yeah, but it shows. It shows in the fight. He looks like he's a little more experienced. He knows what he's doing a little more in the ring.
Yeah, dude's went toe-to-toe with John Jones, so dude's got some experience under his belt, and, first round, going off without a hitch. Jimmy Croot, the newcomer into the scene from Australia with the shitty mullet. He was doing what he could until he got a very particular kick to the back of the leg.
Yeah.
And again, we're not going to go over this too long because, each one of these fights could be talked about for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
They're fucking crazy. But if you saw the fight, you saw Jimmy's leg just go fucking dead. Yeah. And I think he hit a nerve, and the nerve just kind of cut off feeling to his leg.
Yeah, and when I say he limped back, which he made a really smart move. Let's give a little bit of credit. Yeah. He immediately went for a tackle. It landed. He was able to take him to the ground and kind of keep him down.
Keep him there for the rest of the round.
Yeah, so it was able to not put any...
But the walk back to his corner. Dude, he was like, it looked like he was rolling his ankle with every step. He couldn't feel his foot hit the ground, so he was just like...
Yeah.
He was dead legging.
It was dragging his foot across.
Yeah. And I think there's two big takeaways of that. I really love the spirit of Jimmy Croot. I think he earned a lot of respect because he was wanting to keep going. Yes. He said, if it was going to go into the second round, I got to go in full guard, get him to the ground. Yes. That is a fighter... through and through.
Yes.
I love that spirit.
Yes.
And the second takeaway is his corner is shitty. If you're a corner and you see your fighter do that, you need to call it. Because he could get fucked up really bad.
Yeah.
It could end in permanent nerve damage.
And especially because Anthony just said that he was like, oh, he's not going to be able to stand on that leg much more. I'm going to kick it.
Yeah.
His whole game plan was, I'm going to run in here and kick.
And that's what you got to do.
Dead leg. It makes sense
on
his
business.
Part. Yeah. And being that corner, it just makes it so much worse that you're like, oh, who gives a shit if he just kicks it?
And they didn't even help him off. Like, that dude was going around like...
He picked him up.
Yeah, he picked up Anthony Smith in celebration, be like, oh, congrats to you. And, like, his corner wasn't even, helping him around. They just... No. Fuck them, dude. That was shitty. Terrible. It was so heartbreaking to see someone lose like that. It gave me anxiety through the fucking roof.
It was awful.
I know me and you both stood up immediately when we saw that.
Yeah.
It hurt to watch. It really did.
Just good catch. It was... Fuck. It was just crazy. I've never seen, like, an injury be handled so bad.
I was like, my eyes around.
Fucking awful.
Yeah, it was handled horribly.
Yeah.
Luckily, the ref stepped in and was just like, no.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Well, the doctor. If the doctor didn't come in and just call that fight, dude, who knows? He would have gotten, more than likely, he would have been, seriously injured after this.
Yeah, it could have been, lifelong complications.
Yeah, and just fuck that whole corner for that. That was awful.
And we was treated to an even worse ending to a fight.
And then, so, again, we stood up. We jumped out of our seats and couldn't believe it. And then we go into the next fight.
Chris Weidman versus Uriah Hall. Super cool backstory for both of these fighters. They met very early in their careers. Chris beat Uriah. Later in their careers, they go separate pathways. Chris Weidman is the first person to beat, arguably, the GOAT
Yeah.
Of UFC. Definitely the GOAT of the middleweight division, and Anderson Silva. So he's the first person to beat the Spider, and Uriah Hall is the most recent guy to beat the Spider.
Yeah, which is insane.
Cool pathway. Both of these guys are towards the end of their careers.
Yeah.
And the very first strike of the fight, Chris Weidman goes to throw a kick.
A low leg kick.
A low leg kick against Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall, of course, goes to block it, raises his leg up,
checks the kick,
hits it fucking wrong, and his leg just snaps around. And if this sounds familiar, it should, because this is exactly what happened to Anderson Silva when he fought Chris Weidman in their second meeting. He goes to kick him in the shin, he checks it, breaks his fucking leg. I mean, snaps around, turns his leg into rubber.
Like, he kicked him in the shin, and his foot kicked him in the thigh. Like, in the back of the thigh. Wrapped around. It was disgusting to watch. And again,
horrific, dude.
We jump out of our seats.
I'm surprised I was able to stand after that. I'm surprised I didn't just lay on the ground, because I was scared to move my legs.
Yeah.
It was horrific to watch. It sucks seeing a fight end like that. Hopefully, we'll be able to see more out of Chris Weidman, because he is later in his career that I could see that being a career-ending incident.
Yeah, for sure. The other guy said that he's going to go. He would have a rematch.
He would honor the rematch.
Yeah, which I hope, if he can recover and he becomes 100% again, that he can do that, because I think that would be a good fight. I think it would be nice to see.
No fighter is proud to win that way.
No.
There's no way in hell.
No.
And a couple of crazy stats from that. No, I mean, not great stats, obviously. Nothing about that was great.
Yeah.
But there has been 3 leg snaps in the UFC entirety, and I don't just mean breaks, but I mean snaps. Like that. Like cartoonish of a fucking break.
Yeah.
And Chris Weidman has been a part of 2 of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. The odds of that is crazy, because, even though he wasn't the one whose leg was broken the first time, it is still not a good thing to be a part of that.
No.
Yeah, it's still a very horrific event, either side.
Yeah.
And Dana White posted that Uriah Hall was the first person to ever win without landing a single strike. Which, again, is not a good stat to be a part of. There's nothing good about it. No. There's nothing that feels good. It's just...
He wasn't proud of it.
Yeah.
We wasn't happy about it. That's the way it ended. It was just crazy.
And I was honestly scared that they was going to call the event. Those are pretty horrific things to happen.
And I even mentioned that if the next one ends in any injury, you have to. You have to just say, all right, something's wrong here. You got to call the event.
Yeah. So on to a more positive side of things. After that, it gets fucking wild.
This is the start of the 3 championships.
Of the craziest UFC event.
Yeah.
And so in comes Valentina Shevchenko. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. And Jessica Andrade.
Yeah.
Jessica Andrade, former championship, established, strong woman, thighs that could fucking kill a cow. And Valentina Shevchenko, a very, very talented, strong female fighter.
Yeah.
And Valentina just dismantled her.
Going into the fight, it said that if she was able to take her to the ground or get close, that she would win.
Yeah. That was the game plan.
That what's her name again? Andrade would win. So I can't pronounce her name. There's no way.
Just say Valentina.
Valentina? Okay. So Valentina...
The champ, The
champ hears that and just says, okay, I'm going to get as close as I can and slam her and tie the record for the most successful takedowns in that division's history.
And she fucked her up.
Yeah.
She outclassed her in every single category. There is not a single way that Andrade even scored above an 8 on either of the 2 rounds that it lasted.
Yeah. There wasn't even a moment. It was
stopped in the second round.
There wasn't even a moment where we were like, oh, there it is. There's a good hit. Around. Oh, that was a nice jab. Nothing. Yeah. There was not a single moment of that entire fight that we were like, oh, there's a spark of hope. No.
Yeah. So fighting Andrade, the thing you fear is strength.
Yeah.
Because, she has beat Rose Namajunas via her strength, picking Rose up and slamming her on her fucking head.
And for the knockout.
Yeah, and that's what you're generally supposed to avoid.
Yeah.
Valentina didn't fucking care. She went in, Andrade tried to pick her up, and she grounded herself. She said, "You're not picking me up." She slams her.
Yeah, she got low. She went to pick her up. It looked exactly the same as the Rose fight. She goes to pick her up. The only difference, she didn't move.
Fucking can't.
She just stands completely up. Couldn't get her up. Couldn't pick her up. The other girl just picks her up, slams her. It's over. It wasn't close.
So far in the event,
we're 100%.
We're 1-1. We're both right. It's going pretty good. Next, it enters into our favorite female fighter.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was speaking for you two on that.
Yeah.
I assumed we shared the same sentiment.
Yeah.
But
and then we both, to not discredit, we've both said that she's top 3.
Yes.
That
Zhang Weili.
Yeah, Zhang Weili is top 3,
give her,
2 or 3,
give her,
and Rose is 1. So we still
and
love her.
We're talking favorites.
Yes.
I'll say, and you could argue at this point that since 2017, Rose Namajunas has been the strawweight just best.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that there's a pretty stiff competition.
Yeah.
Andrade frequents in strawweight division.
Yep.
Joanna Shevchenko. God fucking damn it.
Her name.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to say.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And I really just don't want to mispronounce anything. Is what I'm trying to
Joanna, you know who the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What's her nickname? I don't know. The strawweight queen, the
Something
boogie
like
woman. She's a scary woman.
Yeah.
And then there's Zhang Weili, so stiff competition.
A great division.
And then Rose comes out, and it stays on the feet. They're bouncing around. There's a couple jabs landed. She doesn't look
nice.
like some good jabs are landing.
And something right before the big thing happens.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to you. I was saying that Rose looks like she's not much shorter, and her reach isn't a lot less, but it looks like it is. She's not able to connect. She's throwing jabs, but they're just not long enough.
Yeah.
She's throwing leg kicks, but they're just not far enough. It looks like she just can't reach her.
Well, and if you want to go even before the focus of Rose before, I mean, she was like shaking with the anticipation when they was calling her name, like saying, "I am the best, I'm the best." Like she looked like she was on a mission, like she was ready to kill.
Yeah.
And so everything looks like it's going accordingly. Both of them are kind of figuring each other out.
Yeah, Rose is bouncing around. She looks loose, but she's not connecting, but she's not. It doesn't look
they're
sloppy.
Filling each other out.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
It's the beginning of a fight. They're they're not throwing haymakers. They're filling each other out. And out of fucking nowhere, Zhang Weili leaves herself open to a left head kick, and Rose drops her to the fucking ground.
Cartoon
folds
balls.
her down. Yeah,
just collapse.
Folds like a fucking lawn chair, dude. And then she gets on her and finishes off the fight. Zhang Weili gets up, doesn't look like she knows where the fuck she's at.
No.
She looks confused, which you should. You just got knocked out. You don't know what the fuck's going on.
She jumps up immediately after being knocked out. She jumps up to her feet, and the ref catches her.
Hold her. Like stabilizing a fucking mattress. Like trying to keep it from falling.
Yeah.
And we also stood up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was
Jumped
on
out of
our
our seats
fucking
again.
feet. We were so happy. And seeing Thug Rose fucking cry over winning it was such a beautiful moment. So happy to see it. So happy for her. I've almost never been happier to be wrong.
Yeah.
I apologize for doubting, but I just didn't think she would be able to get over the power of Zhang Weili.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy I was wrong. Love seeing her win. Good fucking fight. It was such a feel-good moment. And, if you want to see what that energy was like, just look up Joe Rogan's reaction.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the whole commentary team's reaction to that. It was such a good moment.
Yeah.
Rose champ again.
Yeah.
Happy to fucking see it.
so great. And I can't wait for the return. I can't wait for... I want to see who Rose defends against next.
I'm thinking they're just going to...
You think they're going to run it back?
Yeah. She's the most deserving. I mean...
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I would love to see that again.
And I think she's going to come back great. I really do. And she even made a statement saying she's going to.
It's scary. That's a scary person, dude.
Yeah, because I believe that Rose even said, that's been open. That's what I was going to go for.
Yep.
And
she saw it during the Joanna fight.
Yeah, and she said that's what's open.
She leaves herself open.
Yeah, and
she capitalizes.
We can go into Usman called that fight.
Yeah, Usman shared a training partner, which was Trevor Whitman, through Rose.
Yeah.
So Usman saw a little bit of what Rose had to offer, and you can even see the clip. It kind of went viral of him just going, "She's going to get dropped."
Yeah.
Because he saw Rose, and Rose was talking about how, Zhang Weili's an excellent fighter, but she's leaving herself open for a left leg kick.
Yep.
And Rose found the perfect opportunity and fucking drops her.
Yeah. She called the fight. I mean, it just really shows how well, like, if it wasn't her, that her team really just was like,
beautiful
this is
strategy,
open.
dude.
Yeah, the strategy was just, it was the perfect play drawn up. Like, it
pure
was just
kickboxing
great.
gold.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was.
Yeah.
And then that rolled into what everybody was looking forward to, which was
Jorge home at Jacksonville, Florida.
In front of a live audience.
His 50th professional fight.
Yep. Against Usman, who, before the fight had good contentions for being called the welterweight GOAT. He's,
talked about as the pound-for-pound best now.
Yeah, Khabib claimed him to be the pound-for-pound best. He's has the longest active winning streak in the UFC.
Yeah.
And, and Jorge got manhandled the last time they fought.
Yeah.
But
it was pretty much just a wrestling match, and just Usman won because he controlled the fight. He just controlled the fight the entire time.
Though.
Yeah. They were both off of 6-week notice.
6 day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 6 day notice. Yeah, not 6 weeks. That's normal. A 6 day notice. And the big thing is Jorge keeps playing this is like, I wasn't training for you. It was only a 6 day, and we have to give credit. Usman also.
Yeah, neither one of them were preparing for each other.
Usman was preparing for Burns.
Yeah.
And a little bit of credit. If you're Jorge, honestly, if you're training, you should be training for the champ.
Yeah.
You would think, maybe I'm just don't know, but you would think that he's at least preparing for the champ. And you're not thinking that Burns is going to win that fight.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good fight, but you just don't think so. And so but Usman is 100% training for Burns.
Yes. Yeah, no doubt about it. He's training for who's next.
Yeah. And so he had to exit, I believe, because of COVID reasons. I may be wrong on that, or an injury, something. But he ended up leaving. Jorge steps in on a 6 day notice. Yeah. Usman dominates. And
gets held in a clinch, literally controlled for pretty much the entire fight, maybe except a couple minutes.
Yeah, so now they're running it back.
Yeah, so now they're running it back, which is well-deserved. You definitely, if you're Usman, you want that too, just because you don't want that to be an unclosed chapter in your book. You don't want it to be a little blemish on your career, be like, well, you didn't beat Jorge with a full camp.
Yeah.
You want to end that.
Yeah.
You don't want that to be a thing.
And especially,
you just want to fucking close that.
If you're someone who is going for number one pound-for-pound fighter, that, like, I want to be that, you can't have I won this, but. You can't have those but scenarios. You need to, everything is, I am.
Yep.
Everything is definitive.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. And so the first round goes on, and it's back and forth. It's looking good.
Usman's landing some solid fucking jabs, dude.
Yeah. And it goes to the ground, and you can tell Jorge prepared for that. He was able to get up.
And landing some good strikes on the ground. I mean, dude, landing some sharp elbows.
He's doing
good.
I
honestly thought Usman was going to be in trouble if he didn't just
get it up.
Get off of it.
Yeah, just get up off the ground.
Yeah, and, Usman was landing some good jabs, standing up.
Yeah. And something
Jorge was fucking eating them too, man.
Yeah, and something that we noticed that it hasn't been brought up, and I don't know a lot of people that are, and I understand why because of how this goes on, but at the late end of that first round, Usman looks like he's almost out of breath.
He looked like I would say obviously Jorge was too, but Usman looked like he got hit with something.
Yeah,
because his movement was a little bit weird.
Yeah, he's real slow on these.
Yeah, and I was
punches.
worried. I was like, oh fuck, the round needs to end because
it's looking bad for Usman.
Both of them are kind of looking bad. Jorge's wore out, and
I mean Usman's been Jorge's been jabbed up. He's looking a little beat up, but Usman just looked out of breath. And I was like, dude, if he's really winded right now, I was like, Jorge's got this.
Yep.
But they come out fresh that next round, and same thing. It almost looks identical at the beginning. He's throwing some jabs. They're landing.
Jorge's feeling good.
He's
smiles. Fucking
he
eating
stands
them.
back, drops his arms, smiles real big when he gets jabbed.
Then it seems like a tenth of a second later, Jorge is unconscious on the ground. Just genuinely one of the most spectacular knockouts I've seen in person.
The cleanest punch I think I've ever seen.
Oh my god, it was
leans in. Jorge has one hand up to defend himself, and Usman just grabs it, moves it out of the way.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
And just knocks him out.
Lean connection. And across 50 fights, Jorge has never been knocked out.
This is the first
50 fucking fights.
Yeah.
And then Usman, somebody that people don't give enough credit for being a striker, his striking game has improved. Yeah, so Usman found himself a better trainer. Well, not a better trainer, no disrespect for his old trainer, but better for striking. Yeah. And, most people, including Jorge, was like, if Usman's going to win this, it's going to be wrestling.
Yeah.
So that's what Jorge even admitted to during the aftermath, is that he prepared to defend wrestling for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So he was bested on foot and in spectacular fucking fashion, dude. It was wild. It was crazy. It was exactly what that card deserved for the ending.
Yeah.
We knew either way there was going to be a spectacular finish.
Yeah, because I assumed that Jorge was going to prepare to get up. He's a stand-up fighter.
Yeah, he wanted.
I assumed that he was going to try to keep this fight up, standing as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if Usman would be like, I'm just too good to let that actually happen. I'll take him to the ground. But it seemed like Usman before the fight was saying, no, I'm going to beat your ass. And he did.
Yep, he's finished his last 3 opponents. I mean, the dude God damn it. The dude deserves more respect as a striker. He's the best, diverse fighter and makes a very, very good point for being the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter on Earth right now.
Yeah. But the only thing I would really argue against it is probably John Jones. But John Jones ain't fought in a while. We need to see what he does at heavyweight.
Yeah, I would say
So if they wanted to move Usman to 1, I'm 100% cool with it.
Very well deserving.
Yeah.
And what was really cool is seeing them pay respects to each other after.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a fuck you, I told you, because there has been some shade thrown back and forth, but it's really cool seeing them two just respect each other. Like Jorge respected him for allowing the rematch, and Usman was like word for word in the press conference, he was like, I respect anybody that steps into the fucking octagon with me.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, if you want to do that, I respect you.
Something that I thought was pretty good about the post-fights was, do you remember the old Jorge interview where it was saying, why'd you throw those unnecessary punches when they were on the ground? They were already knocked out. And he goes, it wasn't unnecessary.
It was super necessary. Yeah.
It was super necessary. The ref didn't pull me off. Well, they asked Usman, they said, why'd you throw those extra punches? He was out. And he goes, what do you mean? He said, why weren't those necessary? He goes, those were super necessary. Yeah. I loved that.
Yeah, the fight doesn't stop until the ref said, don't pull Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, and said, we seen a fight.
Yeah, Sean O'Malley's opponent is a lot more forgiving than Jorge. You got to end that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the ref hasn't stopped it, fucking end it.
Yeah. Imagine if it was something like the Rose situation. Imagine if, because she jumped right back up. I mean...
Yeah, not the most steady, but she did. And if that would have kept going, it may have not ended the same. No disrespect again. Who knows? Rose probably could have pulled it off.
Yeah, and I think that Usman... what I've seen, Usman probably still wins that fight.
Yeah.
But I think don't know.
Yeah. You gotta respect your opponent enough to, finish them off there and, don't leave it... Because, Sean O'Malley, he fucking left it unquestioned. Definitely later he was able to cap it off, but you can't do that, especially with a fighter like Jorge. You can't play around.
No.
Because that could be the fight. Yeah, that could be the biggest fuck up of your career.
Yeah.
But so it was super cool seeing them talk it out and stuff, show respect to each other, and then obviously you get Colby's input on it. And of course the dude's there to be a villain. Yeah. He's there to talk shit.
Yeah. It's almost universally, or unanimously, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Almost unanimously, everyone hates him.
And that's what cheering for. Going.
Of course. Yeah. but almost immediately, they go to him. It was like he was the third person they interviewed.
Yeah.
And because he is number one, and he was going to fight the winner of this, and we all knew it. And a lot of people thought because Jorge has been ducking him,
Ducking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, we don't know for sure what's going on.
That a lot of people. I think that's another reason a lot of people wanted Jorge to win is because they wanted to see that fight, and we're not seeing that fight. Maybe if Usman just kills Colby, we see that fight, but we're probably not. Yeah. Even though I do think when this comes up, I'm taking Usman. I don't think I'm ever betting against Usman again.
No, because like Joe said, Usman is continually getting better.
Yeah.
Every fight, it is scary seeing that guy get better because you think you've seen him at peak, and then you just see him fight again. You're like, oh my God, he's better than last time.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. So Colby, he's obviously wants to get into the title fight contention, and I mean, I think that dude's going to get messed up. I mean, his jaw was fucking broken from last time, and Usman's 4 or 5 times better than he was then.
Yeah.
So hopefully Colby's improved. At the end of the day, I want to see a good fight. Even if I don't like Colby, I still want to be entertained. I still want to see a good fight. So hopefully Colby's gotten better too and puts on a good fucking fight. But it's hard to think that anybody is going to dethrone Usman at this point, man.
Yeah.
It's just a wild scenario.
Yeah. In that Colby interview, he did mention something that I thought was kind of dumb, and maybe it's bias.
Sure.
But we both talked about this. We thought it was kind of... Well, I mean, I said it was kind of stupid. I think you agreed with me. That Colby said he could lose 12 straight fights, and he'd still have a better record than Jorge.
Which is true.
It is
He's
true.
not wrong.
It's
He's
very
not
true,
wrong about that. For y'all that don't know, Jorge is now sitting at 35-15 for a combined total of 50 fights.
Do you remember Colby's?
He is 16-2.
16-2. And so whenever he said that, we were both like, damn, that's crazy. Like, that's pretty crazy. But then immediately, almost immediately after saying that, I was just like, wait, he could win 12 straight and not have as many wins. And so, like, if you're Jorge, I would just say that. Like, yeah, but if you win 12 more.
Yeah. I don't even think Jorge needs to
address it.
I
don't either.
It's just, he's just trying to spark it. I mean.
But why? Like, why take the shot at Jorge?
It's his role.
I know,
he has a supervillain role. He's going to play it out. It's worked for him. So he's going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And,
And again, it's probably just me hating Colby that I'm like, oh, that's a stupid fucking thing to say. But I just think it's a stupid fucking thing to say. And I think if I'm guaranteed that I'm going to fight the winner, I'm not going to call out the loser.
Yeah.
That seems kind of corny to me.
Yeah, I think the fight lasted around 8 minutes. Colby said the fight lasted 8 minutes too long. I would have finished Jorge sooner.
Yeah.
No. But it is what it is. We don't need to spend too much time on that that MAGA douche.
Yeah.
Get it instead of MAGA. So, yeah, okay, whatever. and so there was a couple things that you said during the fight, which I didn't really notice, but they poured water all over Jorge.
So.
And that doesn't sound like a big deal, like you're a basketball player, you go to the side, you just fucking pour some water on you, you're exhausted, you're heated up, but it's during a fight?
Yeah. So if someone is very knowledgeable in the rules of UFC, please fill me in on why this is allowed, and you're not allowed to because someone got in trouble for the Vaseline
GSP.
Yeah. Getting rubbed on him, his shoulders and stuff, and they were like, oh, it was an accident.
Yeah.
It wasn't accidental. And I get that is a little bit different.
And it's an illegal thing because, not even if you're just face a wrestler, but it lubes you up. It quite literally lubes you up, and it makes it easier for you to get out of things. Now, whether that was intentional, who knows? Maybe the dude just had Vaseline on his hand. It was just
Yeah, patting him down, because you see that.
Yeah, but we noticed Jorge getting water poured on him, and we was like, man, he's facing a guy that likes to wrestle. That could be a...
Yeah.
That seems weird, and I haven't seen anybody address it. Obviously,
it doesn't matter.
It didn't affect anything too much. But what if Usman would have lost that? What if Jorge would have slipped out of a clinch and just fucking dropped Usman, and you know, we're just sitting here like, he was doused in water.
Yeah.
Nobody patted it dry. Like, they just poured water over him.
Yeah, I think, honestly, Usman probably wanted to take it to the ground. That's probably why he hit him so hard. He was trying to knock all that water off. And he did. Yeah, he absolutely did.
Yeah, it literally looks like whenever you're a kid and you go to the beach, not you, because you didn't do that, but, you know... I'm sorry. That was such a dick thing to say.
I knew you were trying to
fight with Kron.
I knew you were trying to crack the joke. And I was
that was such a dick thing to say. That was your poor ass. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, so if you're lucky enough to have a decent household growing up, you probably went to the beach every once in a while. And you would just the waves would come in and you'd fucking punch them and you see the water fly everywhere.
Honestly, what I thought of is, do you remember the old fight night games? Like the old boxing fight night games?
Yeah.
Whenever you would get the knockout punch, you would see all the sweat and blood just shoot off in the slow-mo hit.
And that's what it was like, dude.
It looked exactly like that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, he got every ounce of water or sweat knocked clean off of him.
Yeah.
In spectacular fucking fashion. Luckily, it wasn't like when Floyd knocked out Conor thing. You see a fucking booger fly. That was gross. That was disgusting to look at. You just see fucking snot just... But, you know, I mean, dude is getting hit by Floyd.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
You know, I'd probably have some loose snot fly around, but it's embarrassing. But... No, such a spectacular fucking knockout on his part. And, I mean, you know, other than that, pretty much what I want to talk about is Chael, you know, I love Chael Sonnen. I like listening to his commentary. I thought he said something really wrong. Not disrespectful, but wrong.
Yeah. Because I remember because we were watching the post credits and we wanted to see what other people had to say about it because we knew that we were going to cover it and we wanted some other opinions.
Well, and it was so crazy that we still wanted to live in that moment. Holy fuck shit, what are we going to do now? Watch a fucking college basketball game? No.
No. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I remember whenever he said it, we both just looked at each other and was like,
what the fuck? And this is coming from a former fighter.
Yeah.
A dude that gave Anderson Silva a run for his fucking money. Somebody that should understand the mindset of a fighter and, you know, what it takes. And he does. He probably just made a bad statement there. Not to discredit him.
Yeah. And so he said.
He was talking about, whenever some people talk about the definition of insanity is doing the same thing twice and expecting different results. And I was like... That's not the same. This isn't the same fight. Jorge very well deserved this. Sure, he didn't beat the toughest opponents to get back to Usman. Maybe he didn't deserve it right now.
Yeah.
But you gotta tip your hat to him taking a fight with the champion on a 6 days notice. And if you're Usman, you want to run it back too because you want to again close that chapter. So maybe Masvidal wasn't the most deserving as far as ranks or who he's been fighting. He hasn't been fighting the most stellar competition. He beat a let's say out of his prime Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, not the most stellar competition. But everybody wanted to see him run it back, close the chapter or open up a trilogy. Mm-hmm. You know, so I just thought Chael saying this, doing the same thing twice and expecting different results. It was different results. It was different preparation for both fighters. They're both
yeah. And the one that you've already kind of brought up, the training camp.
Yeah,
the different results.
Full camp.
Yeah, you have a full camp now. How do you train for a full camp to capitalize against someone? Yeah. Obviously, we've talked about this. Jorge thought that it was going to be this. He really prepared for that because Usman, I guess, was just one step ahead. He probably assumed that, and so he was one step ahead and was able to take advantage of that. That's the difference for one.
Yeah.
Another difference is the result.
Yeah, and
the literal result of the fight.
Yeah, there's no stones unturned now. Now, as a UFC fan, now as a fighter, you can close the chapter of that book You're like, that's done. There doesn't need to be a third fight. I think both of them are on the same page.
Yeah.
There's no need for a trilogy. Best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
I think in fighting, that's all it needs to be.
Yeah, I don't know best 5 out of 7.
Yeah, no shit. It doesn't need to be like a playoff game.
I would love to see one best 5 out of 7 just because I think it'd be funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like seeing people in their 60s still going at it.
Yeah, but like one time. The only people that I think should do a best 5 out of 7 is Chuck Liddell and Tito.
I thought you were going to say Connor and Nate.
Connor and Nate
Connor and Nate just need to do a best 2 out of 3.
They need the trilogy.
Yeah.
That one needs the trilogy.
But, yeah, I just thought that was such a weird thing because, like, this was such a good end result, and it was such a good statement for Usman, who doesn't get the mainstream popularity and attention that Jorge does.
Yeah. He was booed coming in.
He was booed coming in and fucking cheered walking out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a dude that made a statement and
cheered out.
Yeah, and even further cemented himself in the legacy of being a welterweight with incredible names around him in the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Like Matt Hughes, like George St. Pierre, who some people argue to be just the GOAT overall. Yeah. Tyron Woodley.
Who just was let go, but still great.
Still, dude held the title for 3 years. He deserves respect in that topic. So I mean, dude was already Mount Rushmore of welterweight, and he further cemented himself. This was this was a necessary fight.
Yeah.
Maybe not the most well deserved, but this was a big money fight. Dana White wanted what was going to be the biggest draw.
Yeah.
Jorge needed to be on this card for it to be that big of a draw. It was in Florida.
Yes.
Have Jorge headline, give him a shot at the title.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was good for everyone.
It all worked out how it needed to be. It was a great card. You know, unfortunately for the two people who, started the main event. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the end that we wanted from those. But it was a great fucking card, and I just don't see how you can have a problem with any of it. It just went over so well. Like, there wasn't a controversial win. Like, the 3 people who won and are now champions or still continue champions, they won definitively. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
They all finished the fights. And it was a good night.
Yeah,
it was a
good
great
card.
fucking night.
And to give a little extra back to the insane quote, he bet on Usman. And that's why he's kind of defending it on the way that he does. Yeah. And I feel like we do need to give that a little bit of credit because, I get what you're trying to say.
I bet on Usman too.
But that was
right there, buddy.
But it was a
$2
stupid fucking way of saying it. It was so dumb the way he put it.
Yeah.
And that's really what it came down to.
Yeah, I think man to man, you should look at your opponent and be like, look, the circumstances of the fight wasn't what we needed. It should have been. Let's run it back.
Yeah.
And that's what Usman did. He was like, you know what? Yeah, we should run it back. You deserve that. You deserve that opportunity, and that's what he did. And Usman he nailed it in the coffin. He put the final nail in the fucking coffin. He ended it. No more discussion. There's no more debate on if Jorge had a full camp. It's over.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows for sure, and doesn't need to be debated anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, for sure, this was the best live event I've seen.
Definitely the craziest. I have never been more into or feel like I'm a part of it, especially sitting at fucking home.
We jumped out of our seats 4 out of the 5 fights. Obviously, 2 of them it wasn't the reaction we wanted.
Yeah,
but we did jump out of our fucking seats 4 out of the 5 fights.
Yeah, whether it was cringing in pain or just
could not believe it.
Our mind was fucking blown. It was such a good fight through and through, and it definitely deserved its own.
And it probably sounds like we're being super dramatic. No. Like, if you watched that fight live and you knew just a little bit about, like, how good each opponent was, especially the championship fights.
Some of the backstories to each of them.
Yeah, if you just knew a little bit about it, and even if you fucking didn't.
My girlfriend came in and watched it. She doesn't know dick about UFC. She came in and she was on the edge of her fucking seat the entire time. It was just a crazy event.
Yeah,
it was
great.
It was so fun to be a part of.
What a perfect way to introduce fans back.
Yeah.
What a perfect way to just bring fans back into the stadium. It was so nice.
And again, we don't know if this is going to be an ongoing thing. We'll make certain exceptions here and there, but last night's events, well, as we're recording it, last night's events, but it definitely deserved its own segment, its own talking point, its own video, because it was everything we've said it is.
Yeah, because we usually have a segment of sports talk where we at least cover some sports stuff.
Like 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah,
you know?
but this one, we really wanted to go into everything, and so we felt like this was the best way to go about it, rather than just have a 90% of an episode just be UFC, even though the ones that we do that is our most viewed.
Yeah, and hey, while we are talking about it, if this is something you would like to see us do more often, let us know.
Yeah.
Or if you want us to shut the fuck up, just tell us.
Yeah, let us know.
Tell us shut the fuck up,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, we'll do either.
Yeah, I don't care.
But
yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got, too. Thanks for listening to us, and if you haven't watched the actual episode yet,
it'll be coming out
when we post it. Yeah,
so this will be out Wednesday at noon.
Yeah, and again, just a reminder if you didn't hear it before, this is not the scheduled episode for the week.
Yeah.
This is just a different segment, so still check out our episode that we're going to be releasing. Thanks for listening. I hope y'all watched the fight last night and y'all really enjoyed it, because I know we did.
Yeah. Other than that, this has been Fighting with Kron and Rex.
See you guys.